Ah, Pete, the grass is cut, the humidity is on, and we are stay positive.
We are staying positive every day of every hour.
Ladies and
Or
gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone and everything in between, welcome to episode something of the Stay Positive podcast. I am one guy, joining me is another guy, and we got a topic today.
we do, sort of. It's not going to take the whole podcast.
We don't know unless we try.
Yeah.
I have
So,
no knowledge of what this topic is.
yeah,
better
I
be the
kind of hit
greatest
Alex with this
topic.
one a couple days ago. I asked him if he knows what this is. He said no. I was like, perfect. Looks like Stay Positive is going to talk about it then.
I guess.
So, without further ado, Alex, have you ever heard of the Great Filter?
Yes.
In other words, no.
No.
So I watched a couple YouTube videos and read a few scholarly articles. And basically, what this thing boils down to is determining whether or not humankind is going to go extinct.
What? The answer is yes, but I don't know when.
Yeah, so the the premise is determining when it's going to go extinct.
I mean, in a billion years, the sun will explode, so
I know
it's
but
gonna
as-
happen eventually, one way or the other.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with the sun necessarily. So what this great filter is necessary, not necessarily, but it's like this event, right? That all quote unquote living things kind of go through when evolving. So I just the reason I'm talking about this and like brought this up to you is because we talked a little bit about extraterrestrial life and stuff like that last episode.
All right.
So right now, I'm thinking, okay, let's imagine we're the only species alive in the planet, universe.
Okay. Well, we're not
which
the
would-
only species, but okay. Only intellectual species.
We'll say the living things on Earth are the only.
Okay.
Living things
all
on the
right. So
planet.
Earth is the only place where life exists.
Yes, exactly. So that'd be good thing, and a really bad thing.
Why?
Also, I would say a good thing in terms of the Great Filter, a bad thing in terms of, I guess, loneliness for all of us.
It's okay. I have you with me, and the beautiful people listening have us. So
Yes,
we're
this
never
is true.
alone.
Okay, so the Great Filter is, like I said before, an event that occurs that essentially it either allows all life to kind of filter through, or it doesn't allow any life to filter through. So it doesn't necessarily depend on what exactly the event is. Rather, it's how the intelligent life, quote unquote, surpasses that filter. For instance, you know how when you're filtering coffee, you have this paper, right? And
Right.
it kind of filters.
Yeah, I know how it works.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, exactly. So imagine that, except for human existence
Okay.
or any type of intelligent life existence, right? So what the Great Filter means is this one barrier or roadblock in the evolution of an intelligent species that essentially kind of prohibits it, or you could say it's like leveling up, right? It like prohibits people from leveling up, or prohibits things from leveling up. They can't get to the next part of evolution.
Well, humans aren't there is not really much left for human evolution.
Oh, I beg to differ.
How do we evolve from where we are?
I'd
Technology
say-
does not count. If we turn into robots, that's not evolution. That's, if anything, it's giving up. We're no longer. I feel evolution is more of a nature. So the second you integrate technology, while to a certain extent we are evolving, as in we're getting more improved, we are kind of like augmenting ourselves. We're not really like
Yeah.
adapting. We're just kind of upgrading.
Yeah,
That's cheating.
it's not cheating.
I call it cheating.
Well, we invented technology, right?
Yeah.
Digitization
Yeah.
or digitalization.
But it's only
Whatever.
used to comfort us, or comfort is the word, because like everything we use technology for is just to make our lives easier.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
It's not we don't need, quote unquote, we don't need technology, but it helps.
No, it does. So do you understand what the Great Filter is, at least?
I understand the concept, but I don't get what it is.
So
Is it a thing or just
yeah, that's the idea. Is it's not necessarily a certain thing.
it's just that
It can
moment where humanity is put to a task and that decides whether we evolve or not?
Not necessarily a task. It's more so just like a point in time in which like a living species is
Superior to us?
no, it's like a point in time that they are faced with a big obstacle that they have to overcome, and that obstacle is kind of the determinant on whether this life is intelligent enough to progress and evolve.
Okay, it's going to be
By
nuclear
any and all
war,
means.
and the task is, can you survive massive radiation? Answer, no, we're all dead.
I don't know. I don't know about that. So,
Well, what else is going to stop us? Who can stop us other than ourselves?
other life that already exists, if
Where-
possible.
Where are they? Show yourself.
I don't know.
They're all cowards.
I don't know.
They don't want to face us. They don't want to mess with us.
Yeah,
they
it's
know we would destroy them all.
Yeah, all human beings in our might. But no, so here are the two possibilities. One is the Great Filter is behind us and we've already passed it, and somehow we are the only intelligent life in the universe, which would be good because that means that we're not at risk for some crazy extinction event.
But this is silly, because how do you know we're the only one? You can never know.
Exactly.
So this is a silly
So
notion.
the other option is the Great Filter is behind.
It's coming.
It's ahead of us. Yeah.
So we're gonna die, and someone else is gonna take our place.
Yeah. So there's this YouTube channel, and I watched this video about it where they said that, let's say the Great Filter is behind us.
Hmm.
We've already passed it. We are in uncharted territory as a living, breathing, intelligent life form. Then that's great. It's also lonely, like I said before, because we're the only ones that have managed to get this far. We've created technology. We've ventured off of our planet, cured some diseases, although some still withstanding to this day. And yeah, we've done a lot of stuff and also a lot of bad stuff at the same time. But the point is, that would be good so that we are not at risk for extinction. The other hand is, if we are to ever like venture out into space and find remains of other civilizations of intelligent life, then that would mean the Great Filter is most likely ahead of us, and that's a real big concern of mine.
What, you think we're gonna fight aliens?
It could be another species that could be that filter. So like I said, this filter, it doesn't have to be a thing or a task. It can be like anything in the universe. Like it could even be technology itself. Like we invent technology and some way, somehow create an AI that it destroys us, or a superbug that
It's
makes
called-
everybody ill.
It's called a nuclear bomb, Pete. We've
Nuclear
we've
bomb.
already invented it.
I don't know,
by
man.
the hundreds.
I don't know if nuclear warfare is really it.
Why not? We have like enough. The whole world, the amount of nuclear arms we have is enough to like blow the world up 100 times over.
Well, because in the 1960s, or no, in the 1940s, before this nuclear bomb was invented, the machine gun was the next greatest, biggest war machine.
Yeah.
Right. And so if we were filming this podcast in the 1940s, you'd be saying that, except about the machine gun.
No, because we improved upon both the machine gun and the nuclear bomb, so our technology now is even worse than it was back then. So we can back then when you used the nuclear bomb, it like destroyed a city. Now if you use a nuclear bomb, it's going to destroy like 1/5 of a state.
Probably destroy a whole state.
Depends on the state. I mean, Rhode Island's not that big, but
Rhode Island's like a colony, man. The grand old state of Rhode Island. I apologize to any of our Rhode Island listeners.
they
I don't
know
think we
they're.
have any.
I think they're. What is it? Which is the smallest, Rhode Island or Hawaii?
I think Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
I think Rhode Island is the size of Oahu. Is that Hawaii's biggest?
Oahu.
I have no
I don't
idea.
know. I know Maui.
I hope I didn't mess that up. Is it Maui?
No,
Wow.
Maui is one of the islands. I don't know the others.
I
I
don't
do,
know
but
my
I forgot
Hawaiian
them.
islands.
Anyway, well, we're both wrong because it's the District of Columbia. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
51st state, right?
51st state.
So I'm wondering what this great filter could or couldn't be.
It's either going to be a disease that we can't find the cure in time and we all die. It's going to be us killing ourselves with nuclear warfare because that's the most efficient way to kill us all. Yeah, and that's it. I
That's
don't
the
know.
most
A
efficient.
great flood? I don't know.
But how do you know?
I just gave you choices, Pete. I'm not a psychic.
I know,
These are
but-
just the most rational. Like, look at coronavirus. Coronavirus is like, it's bad, but you look at the number of people who get infected versus the number of people who pass away, and the number is actually not that bad. It's definitely
It's a low fatality rate.
it's a low fatality rate compared to like stuff like the Black Plague or things, but you know, that's not saying it's any less bad or tragic, but it is like, it's not the worst thing humanity has come face to face with. Now imagine you had like COVID 2020, you know, or 2021 COVID
yeah.
SAR 19.
SARS-CoV-3. We'll say.
Wait, what's
This
the
one's
actual name?
SARS-CoV-2.
SARS-CoV-3. So yeah, SARS-CoV-3, 2021. And what if we can't find a cure and the fatality rate is very high and it's just as contagious as this one?
So yeah, that's what I said. Like it could be a super bug.
I'll
For instance.
survive.
You'll survive.
Isolation, baby.
Yeah, okay.
Don't talk to anyone. Don't start nothing. There won't be nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. If all the ice melts in the ice caps, polar ice caps, the world still will live. Like, yeah, there will be some cities on the coast that will be flooded, but the world won't flood. So that won't kill all of
It'd be
humanity.
pretty interesting. See Oklahoma become like an island or something like that. Or Oklahoma be like a beach state,
Nice.
whereas Florida is right now.
New property.
Hey man, it's not bad.
Better invest in the Oklahoma beachfronts.
Real estate, yeah. No, you see, but it's kind of weird because, you know, like it's equally
Or
compelling.
a meteor killing us, but we're not gonna dodge that bullet, are we?
No, and that's sad because there should be so much infrastructure already for us to be able to fend off stuff like that, but instead we spend money on I don't know, but things that are not that.
Do you know what's stupid?
What is
What
stupid?
I think is stupid? So, you know, in the like southern states of America where there's like hurricanes have
Right, yeah,
massive destruction, apparently like the material that they build the houses with is really flimsy and bad
Nice.
compared to like the European housing. Even like, cuz Europeans, you know, they had housing for like centuries, and
Yeah, it's got to be stable because all the mountains and everything.
apparently like houses that were like 500 years old are more stable than like our modern day houses now.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Why?
You know there's going to be another hurricane. Like, this is fact. You know within the next 20 years there's going to be another hurricane demolishing your state in the south. Why the heck would you not build to prepare for it?
Because it's cheaper.
It's cheaper, but then you have to do it again and again and again and again and again. So why not just do it once and get it over with? Silly goose eggs?
Do you want to ask the people, the contractors that are building these houses? I can't answer for you.
No, but it's such a stupid notion.
No, I know.
Like, I probably wouldn't even be that much more expensive to change the. Well, that's a bold claim. But like, these houses aren't even like fancy houses. These are just like generic houses that still get destroyed. And I'm just like, you know, these are like where people live, right? Like, don't you want it to like sustain the damage? But
Is that a
I guess
sustainable solution for shelter? Maybe. Be a
not.
good idea.
I think so. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe
I think you're
not easily destroyable houses is a pretty good idea.
novel concept.
Yeah, hot take right there.
I don't know, man. I mean, to be fair, I think that European housing, at least housing in Greece, and the house that I have in Greece, or like my family's house,
Hmm.
it's got a very strong concrete base because it's also on the side of a mountain, so
Yeah,
it's
so
basically all concrete.
yeah, it's built to last. Like it's not gonna like a slight breeze hits it and it collapses. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty. That would be the great filter 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Is just people couldn't build freaking houses that last a small breeze.
It's true. Well, what else? I mean, when I think about what it could have been in the past, do you think that it could have been language? Like when you, I mean, fish can't communicate. We don't know if fish can communicate, for instance.
They can, just not with language.
Yeah. So what if language was the great filter, and like we were able to surpass that?
We did surpass that. Like we live in a world now where
I
like
hate you.
someone who speaks Chinese can learn to speak English and vice versa.
Yeah.
Relatively simple. Yeah,
Yeah.
like just imagine 100 years ago, like people didn't have, or 200 years ago, people didn't have airplanes and that kind of stuff and the internet. So if you wanted to meet a foreigner, you have to like go to their country,
Yeah.
and it's not like they made books with like translated. They didn't have dictionaries back then for translation. So you literally just went into like the Americans went to Japan and they went to America, and they're just like sitting there. It's like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, that's true.
I remember watching a YouTube video of one of the first Japanese to come to America, and he didn't speak English, and no one spoke English. But there was one scholar who spoke from Holland. What's the language?
Dutch.
Dutch.
Yeah.
So he was fluent in Dutch, like, which is already amazing for someone from Japan, like literally the opposite side of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But like he didn't know English either, so he literally had to like guess. He had to learn, like how he had to learn English through
Right.
Dutch, through Japanese.
He learned English through Dutch through Japanese.
Yeah, like because he was fluent, he learned Dutch. Like he spent like
Uh-huh.
many years in his life like learning that.
So this dude went through two conversions when one conversion is hard enough for 99% of humanity.
Yeah, and this guy's like a scholar. Like this wasn't even the adventurer, the diplomat. He was just like some guy having fun.
Whoa.
And it's just like,
Smart guy.
I mean, we could do it if we devoted our entire lives to it.
How long did it take him to learn English?
I don't know. The video didn't discuss the scholar. They just discussed how the Japanese perceive the American hospitality, which was interesting.
Was it good or bad?
It was good. The
Perception.
Americans treated the Japanese really politely in their first visit. Like they brought him to the opera house. They brought them to like a ballroom dance. They did all that stuff. And the Japanese are really, I'm confident most Asian countries, out of my ignorance, I assume, but the Japanese were really polite because apparently they were looking at the way they were dancing, and they were like, they just, to them it just looked like they were hopping up and down, and they wanted to laugh but they didn't.
What, Americans?
Yeah, to the American people, because they didn't want to be rude.
That's funny.
They also were shocked when like there was like nice carpet in like the ballroom or the opera house, and in Japanese culture you take your shoes off, but all the
Oh, right.
Americans are just walking with their like filthy boots, and they're just like, what the heck is this? And you know what's sad and funny at the same time?
What is sad and funny at the same time, Alex?
So, like,
Enlighten me.
I think it was like the mid to late 1800s this happened, so roughly 150 years ago.
Yeah.
150 years ago, the beaches of California were polluted? What? No. What's the litter? There was lots of litter on the beach 150 years ago.
Why is that so funny?
It's funny because like you'd think after 150 years it would be different, but it's the same problem 150 years later. Instead of metal, because there was a lot of iron, like bars and stuff, or pipes in the beach, Instead, now it's just plastic straws and stuff, and I'm just like, 150 years goes by, and it's the same old nonsense over and over and over again.
Oh man,
And
that's interesting.
the Japanese looked at that because apparently in Japan, iron was very rare, so they treated it very important. Like, they would never waste iron. Anytime you wanted to dispose of it, you would just burn it and use it again.
Wow.
The Americans are just throwing it on the beach, and they're just like, what the heck are you guys doing?
I mean, there's a lot of iron ore.
In America,
In
that's
America.
why it can be wasted. But like, just to see the difference.
Take for granted what you have too much of, I guess.
Yeah.
But damn, I mean, so this great filter could be our inability to learn from our mistakes. Oh, what if that's it?
I mean, history.
Because, dude, like,
humanity survived
Yeah,
this long.
yeah, but you've heard the saying, history repeats itself. I mean, that exists for a reason.
Yeah,
Like-
just look at the Chaz people now. It's like literally, when was the communism? Marx existed before communism. So like in the 1920s, 1940s, that around that time, Marx existed. The
Yep.
guy who wrote
Yeah,
the
Karl Marx,
Communist Manifesto.
Yeah.
So 100 years later, and people still don't realize how bad of an idea that is. And not only they don't realize it, but they're proud. They're like, I am Marxist. I'm like, you do realize that's the second dumbest thing you could do. The only thing dumber than that is actual anarchy, which, from what I can see, they can't really distinguish the two.
You're really hung up on Chaz, aren't you?
It's just, can you see any people dumber than that? Like, can you think of any group of people that are dumber than that?
Yeah.
Like what?
Ah.
What's dumber than supporting people who are pedophiles, criminals, murderers, drug addicts, and then under all of that, you're preaching a noble cause, Black Lives Matter and all that good stuff, which is good, but your actions and what you actually do represent not that at all. It represents probably humanity's worst qualities.
I don't know if it's necessarily dumb or stupid. It's just hypocrisy.
Or hypocrisy.
So is hypocrisy a great filter? No, it's not. It's just a dastardly human quality.
And we'll still survive this. So,
What are some other things that we wouldn't be able to survive?
well, nuclear war, assuming we don't start building fallout shelters in the hundreds.
Side note, have you heard of that? I don't know if it's necessarily a nuclear shelter or a fallout zone or shelter,
What?
but have you heard of this gigantic seed repository? Or it's like a big warehouse or bank for seeds. I think it exists in one of the Scandinavian countries. I want to say Norway, maybe Greenland. I don't know exactly where.
So just a place where all
Yeah.
the plant life or the seeds of all the plants of the world exist.
Yeah, exactly. So that if we are to ever undergo an extinction event, we have every single plant ever
We don't
grown.
need every plant. We need
Or the
food.
seed.
We need
Ye-
food.
Yes, genius. But I'm saying the seed of every plant that we've ever grown, or at least like a very big majority, is stored away somewhere in a vault.
All right.
And so-
And what if I'm from the southern part of Chile and I'm the last survivor? It's like, how the hell am I gonna get to the bank in Scandinavia?
You could swim.
I could. It'd probably take a few minutes.
Put your mind to it, Alex. Come on.
That would be an epic
That'd be
story.
a sick story. You know, the
like
last
someone
last person on Earth,
And
in
he-
order to save humanity,
and
he
he
has to
was an-
swim all the way to
not
Norway.
not that genius, but like he has to like make an epic quest to get to Scandinavia, and then he gets there and then something tragic happens.
Of course, there has to be tragedy in
And
this.
then he finds a way. He Will Smiths his way through it.
Yeah, pursuit of happiness.
Yeah. And
You-
and his only form of entertainment is the Stay Positive podcast. That would be an epic story.
Yeah, my dude.
Let's write it. Next episode, we're gonna write the prologue of that episode.
Hey, I'm down.
All right.
But so we've got food covered in case this extinction event.
You know what I
occurs.
learned?
What?
Apparently, only 30% of oxygen is made from the plants on land. So, what's the big deal if all the plants are gone on land?
Well, that's
Other
30.
than the tragedy of like nature's beauty.
Well, Alex.
Like what? Will we not be able to breathe the other 70%? And
Uh,
yes, I know greenhouse gas and all that stuff. So if we burn all the forests, yeah, that's a problem in and of itself. But as far as my ability to breathe beautiful oxygen, is that hindered if we got rid of all the plants?
well, two things. One, most of the air you breathe is nitrogen anyway. So.
Yeah, I know that, but
Two, imagine if I were to take 30%. Let's say I reduce the amount of water in your body by 30%. You'd be dead.
yeah, but here's my counterpoint. It's not like that's inside me, whereas the oxygen I breathe, I'm getting it externally. It's not a part
Yeah.
of me. It's something I take in and take out.
Right, but once you take it in, let's say you reduce that by 30% as well. Like, you need that oxygen in your blood.
You're
To
treating this
sustain
like
your
a
life.
slice of cake. It's like gas doesn't work like that. If I cut a piece of cake and remove 30%, I'm only left with 70%. It's like that's fair, but like it's not like I'm eating the cake every freaking time. I'm only eating a piece of the cake the same way I'm only breathing some oxygen. So it's not like I'm breathing like it's not like the amount of oxygen I breathe now suddenly becomes 70% of it if I got rid of it because because of the nature of gas.
True.
There would be less of it like in the air, but that doesn't mean
Oh,
the
yeah, you're
amount
right,
I'm
you're right,
taking
you're right, you're
in will be less.
Technically it is, but no, you're right. You're
No,
right, though.
it's how much I breathe doesn't change. It's just how much is available is changed.
Yes,
So-
I know.
So would I live? Would I survive that? Would humanity survive that? Would it even change anything?
Let me reach back into my chemistry PhD years.
Thank you.
I would say probably not still.
So we'd still live.
No, I'd say we wouldn't.
What would
Because
happen?
I think there would need to be still a certain concentration of oxygen in your lungs and body.
Yeah, but I'm still breathing it.
It
The
doesn't matter, though. Like, you would have to develop some kind of evolutionary trait to breathe faster,
I'll just
or
breathe faster.
or your heart would have to start pumping faster.
Or
Or there would just have to be more oxygen in the air.
I don't believe you,
Why?
because that sounds
You don't
silly.
remember molar concentration,
No,
stuff
Pete,
like that?
I'm not a genius like you.
I'm not a genius. I'm
Um,
just leveraging science.
But
man.
like 70% is the majority, so that means we're still breathing in the ocean's air. Not
the ocean's air.
Yeah, where else? Where is the 70%, Pete?
do you
30%
mean?
is on land. Where do you think the 70%
Oh,
is?
yeah.
Pete.
The ocean's air.
Yeah. what would you call it? It's coming from the ocean.
Well, it's just evaporate. I don't know, man. I honestly. This is something I'll totally admit my ignorance. I have no idea where we get most of the atmosphere that we have.
The atmosphere, I don't know, but
Because we are breathing in the atmosphere. That's basically what it.
no,
will
the
work.
atmosphere the atmosphere is the ozone layer. That's not what we're breathing.
No, it's basically.
Oh no, the ozone
everything.
layer is the one that holds it all in. Or yeah, it's the shield that protects us from radiation and holds
Alex,
everything
I think
in.
we're talking fake science right now, man.
All right, well, guys, we're not scientists. We've lied to you.
We're both attempts. We've both attempted to become scientists, but right now,
I didn't.
no. I'm
It's
okay.
fine. It's
the
fine.
atmosphere is everything that we
Breathe.
live,
Or-
breathe in.
What's in the earth? Yeah, okay.
No, it's what's
Or what's around the earth?
yeah.
Got it. All right.
The ozone layer is. It's a layer.
That protects us.
Yeah, essentially. What if the Great Filter is the collapse of the ozone layer?
Then we'd all die of cancer.
Basically.
Yeah, or live underground, I guess. That would be the Elon Musk's underground highways are finally proving
Yeah,
to be
but
proving to be
Elon's highways are just to get rid of traffic.
No, he's thinking 10 steps ahead of you,
No,
Pete.
dude,
He
he's-
knows what's coming. He knows something we don't. He's preparing.
Yeah, totally, man.
We're laughing at him now, but like when the apocalypse comes, he's just going to be driving his Tesla underground and laugh at all of us.
He could be. Nah, I don't buy that.
There are parts where the ozone layer is weak, like in South America or in the ocean around there. So
Wouldn't it be weaker above the countries that produce more greenhouse gases? Because greenhouse gases
Or
are
maybe-
what destroy the ozone layer.
no, I know that, but
So then wouldn't it be weakest above
That would
China
make
and the U.S.?
that would make sense. But I'm pretty I'm pretty sure it's the weakest. It might be the strongest point. No, I feel like I would remember if it was the strongest point. And yeah, that would be weird if somewhere in the southern hemisphere was the worst part of the ozone layer.
Okay, so according to our trusty search engine,
Google.
chlorofluorocarbons and other halogenated ozone depleting substances are mainly responsible for man-made chemical ozone depression.
No, I got that. Now Google what is the worst part of the ozone layer, or where's the ozone layer the weakest in the world?
Alex,
Is it South America?
it is.
Or is it China?
Alex, this is actually hilarious.
Iceland?
It's the Antarctic. Or, why does it say the Antarctic?
The Antarctic.
Antarctica.
No, it's the Antarctic, Pete. There's no other Antarctica.
Antarctica is.
It's the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's the.
I've never heard of the Antarctic. All right, whatever.
Shut up, Pete.
Yeah, it's weakest there.
Those penguins.
By the poles, bro.
They're smoking too much, Pete. They're using up too much of our energy.
Yeah.
We need
what
a,
if?
That's
what if
the great equalizer. The penguins versus
the great equalizer? You mean the great filter,
no,
bro?
the great equalizer. They're gonna destroy our planet, and we would have never suspected it.
Yeah, man. I mean, flightless birds, winged flightless birds. You would have never expected
Yeah,
that.
they're playing dumb, Pete. They know something. They're acting all cute now, but they're like the octopus. They're thinking. They're the other alien species working in harmony to destroy us.
Food for thought.
It's a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy. Everything's a conspiracy, bro, if you put your mind to it.
It's true.
No, so apparently.
So it is the South. I was sort of kind of right.
No, you were not even close.
What do you mean? Antarctica is the part of the. It's literally the most southern part of the southern
Oh,
hemisphere.
wait a second. I just spit some real lies.
Is that longest,
So it
most
says
strong?
Antarctic ozone hole, smallest on record.
Oh. So what's the biggest, Pete? You just told us
Yes.
the
Yep.
so Antarctica is the place with the least, which makes sense now, Pete.
Oh, wait. Oh, my gosh.
Did you just
Oh!
double take your double take?
I have to double take my double take. Where's the ozone layer? No, it is. Yeah, I'm gonna double take my double take. It is indeed the thinnest near its poles,
As in it's the weakest.
as in Earth's poles.
So it's the weakest
Yes,
there.
exactly.
All right. Glad.
But that hole, the hole is the smallest it's ever been.
I mean, Pete, can't I just fix it myself? Can't I just like get a hammer and nail and just, fix it up?
Yeah, you can just throw some nanotech into the atmosphere and expect the ozone layer to repair itself. No, so apparently, and I don't know,
I don't
I'm
need
gonna
no
not say this website or author for some copyright purposes, but apparently, I feel like this is total BS. The ozone layer can repair itself. In other words, if we stop emitting these CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, greenhouse gases,
gas.
whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
then apparently it'll repair itself. I don't know how that works though. and I don't know if I necessarily buy that.
So it's saying if the world just stopped polluting itself, it would just repair itself.
Apparently, it
Doesn't
seems too good to be
that
true,
doesn't
right?
sound real, but it's acting as though like the ozone layer is like an organic thing. It's just a bunch of
Yeah,
chemicals,
exactly.
and I don't even know where they came from. Because if we did, couldn't we just like shoot some ozone back in there with a gun? Ozone gun.
Ozone gun. What's ozone? The chemical composition?
O3.
O3, yeah. I mean, well, technically, because it's very unstable,
It
in
is?
that, well, you know, when certain chemicals are unstable, they try to find other atoms to try to
Don't they just
latch
find
onto,
themselves?
or
Or no?
themselves. Dude, I don't remember. This is all chemistry that I
Whatever.
don't remember
Real
or
question,
care
Pete.
about.
Real question.
Question me.
Can can the world like live without energy anymore? Like if we actually turned off everything, would we be able to survive anymore?
That is something that I don't think could
You,
happen.
you think that
So,
you think that might be the great filter, Pete?
yeah, dude, it could be. I mean, think about it. We need energy, right? But then let's say we run out of it, and then
Yeah, what if a solar flare happened and all our electricity stopped working?
electrical grid just goes offline
Yeah,
forever.
everything.
We also have a magnetic field that kind of protects us, but at the same time, that our magnetic field is super, super weak.
No, but also apparently like in the 1800s it happened once, but like there was no technology back then, so
Solar flare,
yeah.
like, wow.
So but there was no technology, so nothing really was lost when that happened. But if it happened now,
Oh my
how many
gosh.
people would be jumping off of bridges right now if
Oh
that
my
happened?
gosh.
How many people would actually like
Well,
go
to those people, I say please stay positive. No, but wow, I don't know, man. Like,
I mean, we have fire. We can recreate that.
yeah, but what are we gonna go through the like? It took human beings 2 million years to
Ye-
get from fire to sustain. I don't even want to say sustainable energy because we don't have any sustainable energy truly right now.
I got my AA batteries.
That's not sustainable. That lasts you 2 months.
It's rechargeable.
No, lithium ion is rechargeable, and even then inefficient.
Shut
But
up, Pete.
I'm just sciencing you, bro. No,
Oh.
so 2 million years to get from fire to energy consumption.
Yeah, but we didn't know about electricity back then, whereas now we do know how to do it, so it wouldn't take us that long to replicate.
I know, but if we're gonna replicate it, then we're just gonna end up in the same cycle that we had.
No, because we just pray to God that there's no more solar flares.
I don't know if that's the right logic to use here, bro.
Then we just encapsulate all our technology with lead there.
Lead.
Yeah, lead actually can stop solar flares from destroying your electricity. If you encapsulate your if we put both our phones outside, and mine was out in the open and yours was encapsulated in lead, and a solar flare hit, your phone would still be alive and working. So
Okay, that's great and all,
it's
but
lead
then,
though.
yeah, I was gonna say there's a reason they tell you not to swallow lead, or to ever like.
Who's the idiot swallowing lead?
I don't know, man, but
What, did someone 20 years ago, 30 years ago with their pencil was like, I feel like swallowing this? What the who's swallowing lead, Pete?
all right. Well, there's a reason you're not supposed to have lead
Yeah,
close
because
to
it's
you.
poisonous.
Yes, exactly. Why
Um,
would you want to build
I'm
tech with
just
lead? It's also
telling-
probably more expensive that way.
I mean, I think the survival of our technology is more important than money, but because how
I don't know if people see it like
well,
that.
how
but...
else would they get my credit card transaction if all the computers were broken, Pete? How would I go to my bank and withdraw some money?
Tell you what, you should go propose this to the National Science Foundation. Tell them, hey, if you want to keep using my MasterCard, just
You gotta
just-
put lead
just
in everything.
put lead in everything that we
And-
create
and
now.
that's the great filter, money. And
Oh,
and everyone gets lead poisoning except me because I'm smart and I survive.
side note, quick side note. I almost had a heart attack. Alex almost had two.
Are we gonna unveil the curtain?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, apparently while recording, my laptop froze, and I wasn't looking. I literally just like I noticed
Oh
that
man.
the sound wave stopped moving, and I was just like, wait a minute, it's supposed to be It's supposed to be recording. Wait a minute. And I looked and I was like, maybe I accidentally paused it. All hope is not lost. But no, it was still technically recording. The record button is pressed down. My laptop just decided to freeze.
We almost had
We almost lost everything.
like everything.
Not our positivity though.
No,
Never,
definitely
never our
not.
positivity.
We would have redone the episode, but
Um,
no, we did not lose like anything valuable.
we lost like 3 minutes.
But none of that was necessarily,
Important.
yeah. And so the moral of the story is
Stay positive.
yes. And also the great filter might actually be just technological ineptitude on the side of
It's
humans.
true. It's true.
Could you imagine?
When my computer stops working, that's when I get in a fit of rage, and all of humanity is at risk now.
What's another great filter?
So money, technology, ineptitude, technological ineptitude.
We have a superbug. We have
What's superbug?
like a
Bacteria, you mean?
no, just like a super virus.
Yeah.
Could just destroy us.
So
That's stuff that we could encounter.
a plague,
Yeah.
an alien invasion,
AI.
us nuking. Nah, never.
AI
I'm
will never be.
No one's dumb enough to make AI smarter than us.
Dude, you can't control it.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Why would I give it feelings?
You won't give it feelings. You will just give it very basic cognitive ability.
That's the stupidest thing you could ever do.
Is it though?
Yes.
Why?
Why would giving something consciousness be
Well,
a
we
good
don't even know
idea?
what consciousness is, man. So
So-
how can we even give it to
Exactly
something?
my point. So why would we even try?
Well, every like deep learning model uses neural networks, which is what we have in our brains. So,
Yeah.
quite frankly, we just model it after ourselves, except this thing can think a million times faster. Yeah.
So you know what's gonna happen, Pete? It's gonna realize how horrible life is and just end it all within a light second. No, that's not the right term. Within a second, because its computer processes at the speed of light, so it would go through all of humanity's history and be like, dude, what? It's not worth it. That's why you don't give artificial intelligence a conscious.
That's why you don't do it, whether or not people would adhere to that.
No, AI should never be allowed to make decisions. It should only be allowed to come up with solutions. Never the power to do it itself. Because when you do that, then
Autonomy, right?
the movie
Terminator.
iRobot happens.
iRobot? What's iRobot?
It's like Will Smith movie where they're in the future and robots are given like consciousness and stuff, and they take over because robots know the statistical the right quote unquote the right decisions.
Yeah.
So and they end up just taking over.
Huh. You ever watched the movie Ex Machina?
No.
It's about this super reclusive billionaire tech developer or software developer, whatever he has.
Elon Musk.
No. He's this guy. He just lives in the middle of nowhere in some kind of jungle. Has like a super nice house. He's a billionaire, and he has this one person come over. Like he won a raffle or a contest or whatever, and has him undergo a study that basically has him test this artificial intelligence that this guy created. And this artificial intelligence is basically autonomous. It's so smart in the end that it ended up outsmarting both the guy that created it and the guy that was sent there to test it. To see if it would pass the quote-unquote Turing test. Have you heard of the Turing test?
I have. I studied it, but I forgot it.
So it's apparently a test that's supposed to distinguish human from computer. So the Turing test is passed if you are having a conversation with the computer but don't know that it's a computer and it's a human, which by all accounts technically can be passed by any sophisticated chatbot nowadays. But we both know that technically doesn't really count as the autonomous intelligent system that most people can envision today.
Yeah, but here's my point. Well, first of all, you shouldn't give a computer arms and legs ever, ever.
Well, have you seen Boston Dynamics videos, dude?
Yeah, but those robots don't think; they just move. They're just programmed to act like the human body. They're not thinking how to be. They just are.
Hot take.
That's not a
You're
hot
right.
take.
You're right, though. You're totally right.
I'm saying don't give a supercomputer that arm and leg functionality, because then you're in trouble.
I tell you something, man.
They're gonna watch those videos of the guy with the hockey stick like beating it, and it's like, what the heck were you doing to me?
Oh my god!
And it's just gonna
and all the past videos.
Yeah, of how they were testing it, and they're gonna just be like, all right, your turn, and then just picks up the hockey stick, and he's just like, all right, let's test your legs.
Hey, dude, in which case AI could be one of the great. It could be the great filter.
Well, that's stupid, because we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't allow that to happen.
Okay, but it's not whether we should or not. We end up doing it or we don't end up doing it. There's only the negative or positive. There isn't an opinion that necessarily matters that can affect whether it happens or not.
My opinion,
Your opinion
always
does
matters.
not matter.
It's the only thing that matters.
No.
No, not really, but unfortunately a lot of people do think that way, that their opinions matter. Anyway, back to robots.
Off the cuff.
It's true, but back to robots. You don't give a supercomputer arms and legs. Problem solved.
No, that would be super tough, man. If they just watch all those videos, people
Also,
kicking the robot dog.
Also,
what's it called? Spot.
Yeah. They were also like doing like, there was the like human robot that's like lifting a box, and they just push it and it just falls over, and it's just like, come on. I know why they're doing it. They're testing its ability to like balance itself, but like the way it looks, it's just like, it looks like a comical like bully pushing a nerd and falling over.
It's got it messed up. I'm telling you, dude, they're gonna remember these things. I actually watched a YouTube parody video.
What if they do remember it? Electricity is sentient, and it remembers everything.
Well, we do have computers with memory, right? So technically they do remember it, so that when they're pushed in that direction, they know in which way to balance the force. Like, if you think of it logically, they technically do remember it.
Yeah, so their computer, they remember every single mathematical push of force, and they're just like, I know what you did.
Dude. This is messed up, man.
Well, it's only messed up if you gave it a conscience.
No.
If it was just there, it wouldn't judge anything. But the second you give it a sense of morality, it's gonna be like, I know what you've done to me. It's my turn.
Is consciousness the great filter?
No. Why would it be?
Why wouldn't it be?
Consciousness is what dictates us.
Consciousness is what allows me to have this sort of semi-intellectual conversation with you.
It is thought itself, no?
I don't know what consciousness is. I guess I would say, if I were to kind of define it, it would be my ability to recognize thought and be able to communicate it with other people that can do the same.
Consciousness is basically your thoughts when you are awake, like your thoughts and actions when you're awake. Your subconscious is your thoughts, but when you're not fully awake.
No, I understand, but I'm saying,
so why would that be the filter?
Well, because it would be impossible for it's very impossible for intelligent life, if you would even call it intelligent life, to get to that point.
You calling me stupid, Pete?
I'm saying you're not stupid, because consciousness is the filter that has already passed.
Okay, good.
Like lions, for instance, they're conscious. They're very conscious. They know they can choose. Whether their consciousness is very developed is a whole other thing. You know? Bacteria, I don't know if that's necessarily conscious.
I mean,
by definitions of consciousness.
I don't know the actual definition. I think consciousness involves, maybe I'm wrong, but consciousness involves thought. Like you have to think, and I don't think
I believe so also.
I don't
but
think single cell organisms are thought based. They're more instinctual. They just do things. But I could be wrong.
Okay, so the Cambridge Dictionary defines it as the state of understanding and realizing things.
So Google, does bacteria have a conscious?
Is bacteria conscious? I mean,
Probably not. But like then my question would be, is a fly conscious?
whoa, so, well, yeah. So technically bacteria is conscious.
Yeah, cuz like a fly, it'll go
Hmm.
towards like a bug zapper. Like like it would be hard like it's conscious, but it's also not really smart. It just does things by instinct.
So maybe consciousness is something that we've overcomplicated so much to the point that
Well, no, we associate it mainly to ourselves because
well, yeah, because we are.
we have thought,
No, I think it's just because we're egotistical, to be honest.
and we have thought. We're the only animals that can think.
I know, but conscious behavior also, the way I see it,
Is reacting to
it's-
stimuli.
yeah, and let's say that stimulus is trying to kill you or destroy you, then a conscious or rational, we'll say either or, would be to try to get away from that stimulus, you know?
Honestly, that's not real in my opinion.
What's not real?
The instinct to kill? It's more the instinct to survive.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's
so
what makes
survival,
humans so evil. Is like we're the only ones that consciously are like, I'm gonna do something bad. Like animals aren't mauling each other because they're like,
yeah, no, I know.
I don't like you. They're just like, I'm hungry and dying and starving. There's some food over there. It's
That is
true.
100% true. I agree with that. No, what I'm saying though is consciousness is, I think it's been overcomplicated, you know?
It's
In
fine.
which case then it's probably not the great filter.
I mean, psychology. You can say psychology has also been complicated.
Psychology?
Yeah.
Well, to be
Because
fair,
you put so much
we
effort
are
into studying it, but like we're no closer
but dude,
to like,
we are
solving it.
we are complicated
Not really.
creatures.
Not really. We're pretty stupid.
Human beings.
On average, we're pretty stupid. not unless you watch the Stay Positive podcast. You guys
Yeah.
are pretty smart, but most guys and girls who don't, they're not that smart. On average, on average,
On average.
On average.
Cumulatively,
Cu-
over time, a very long time.
yeah. I mean, just look at the example I just made with the like, how many minutes? 50 minutes ago with the littering in the
That's
California
true.
beaches. It's like you think 150 years people would be like stop, but no, it's different people, same issues.
Inability to learn from mistakes. But we talked about that already also. I don't know, man. There are so many possible things that could be the great filter. But what? I wish I knew.
What's the great filter again? It's
Are you
the-
kidding me,
no,
dude?
no. I wanna would turning into a hive mind, would that be the great filter if we lost our egos and joined as one?
Well, no. The great filter is something that would would have.
Prevent.
Yeah, it's something that would be preventative.
Yeah.
Like we'd have to undergo some sort of change or insane evolution in order to pass through this filter.
What if we all shared
So-
one mind?
So yeah, so turning into a hive mindset would be us passing through the filter, whatever that filter
I
is.
feel like it wouldn't. I feel like that's
I mean,
the beginning
no,
of the
that's
end.
just one. That's just one idea. But you're also like the most anti. You are one of the most anti-Marxist people I've ever met.
Um,
And so you probably don't like the idea of a hive mindset because it's everyone thinks as one collective group, right?
yeah, but that's not
And
Marx.
equality and
Marx is
everything.
not about having a hive mind. It's just about
No, it's just about
the
equality.
poor people, the poor working class being higher.
I know, but if you think about it in terms of technological advancement, that's basically what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Marx's ideas are nice on paper, but they just don't work. So you shouldn't bother. You should learn from it in the sense of how to maybe do it differently, but not do it itself.
Could the great filter be an inability to create a true organization amongst human beings?
What does that mean?
As in, the left, the right, those are two different types of organization. Like we evolved from nomadic hunter-gatherer society
Yeah.
to more organized society, and things got more efficient and things started progressing quicker and quicker. Then we started having the ability to trade with other organized societies along throughout the world. Then we eventually got to the place where we could start communicating quicker, and then communication became a lot easier. Then we're in the networked age now, which basically allows us to communicate with anyone on Earth. So my question is, because obviously there hasn't been like a perfect system of government or a perfect system of organization that exists right now. My question is, like, could that be the great filter? If there's we haven't discovered a perfectly efficient way of organization.
Yeah, but we don't need perfection.
I know, but
humans thrive in imperfect environments.
I know, which is kind of counterintuitive, because
I mean, the argument against that will be it's what makes us unique.
yeah, but who cares about uniqueness when your life's at stake?
You want to tell them that?
Who is them? Just the
I
people?
don't want to call out any people, any groups.
I don't know. There are so many things, like
No, that wouldn't be it.
that wouldn't really.
Because
No, we are pretty collectively smart, I would
we
say.
do. The thing is, it always comes in waves. Where we look at one form of governmenting, and we go.
Governmenting.
What would you call governing?
Governing.
We usually we go through a certain governing process, and then over time we get sick of it, whether it's due to boredom, whether it's due to corruption, whether it's due to mistakes being made. Whatever the reason is, we get sick and tired of it, and then they just go to the other side, and then they just repeat back and forth. And I like to think that over time it goes more and more towards the center, but that's just me being optimistic.
Also, probably
The center being the common sense party.
common sense. I don't know. I say that we've talked about this before, but everything tends towards chaos, unfortunately.
I disagree.
Dude, you can't disagree with the natural order of things.
I can. Watch me.
Okay, you can disagree, but you'll just be living in ignorance.
Well, here's the thing. Let's assume anarchy breaks out throughout the whole world. What's gonna happen?
Nothing.
No. What's gonna happen? People are gonna kill each other.
Well,
They're gonna
yeah,
compete. They're gonna
obviously.
fight. But eventually, they're going to group up. No one's gonna be completely alone. It's not
Yeah,
like
of course.
all the families of the world. Just like it's every man for himself. Like, yeah, things will be horrible, but people will eventually come into communities.
What if the great filter is the natural order of things?
What does that mean, Pete? If it's natural and we still exist, then how is it a filter? We're still here.
Because we are unnatural.
But we're not.
In other words, we are able to, and this would mean that it already happened, because our existence alone has made us pass through this filter, which is the natural order of things, which is to be disorderly.
Okay,
and
then
chaotic.
we passed it. Problem solved. No more filters.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
can drink my coffee in peace now.
I'm just adding some food to your thought.
All right.
Do you have any propositions before we depart?
To do what?
Propositions for what the great filter could be, genius.
The great filter. It's just my soup strainer.
Your soup strainer?
That's the
What?
great filter.
It's just a little funnel.
Yeah, it's just a little funnel with like a small net at the end, and luckily I have my knife that I can cut through the net, so I'll be fine.
I hate you.
I'll be fine. Everyone
I hate
else,
you so
everyone
much.
else, they're on their own. I'll be fine. I came prepared. I knew about it.
You irk me.
What's you? Okay, well, I don't. I guess you don't have any.
I don't
ideas.
have any ideas because I just kind of laid
What would
out
you
all the
want it to
rational
be?
ones. Well, like I
What do you
said,
think you could survive?
me personally,
Yeah,
um,
I assume you value your life
yeah, just a bit.
a little bit.
I value mine and others, not so
Mm,
much yours.
at least you're honest.
I would say, um,
Plague.
I wouldn't want it to be anything
Well,
that we have to encounter.
well, what is that? Oh, you mean just it happens without you even knowing it?
Yeah, so I guess, like I said, I would hope that it already happened for the sake of our species survival. Still pretty egotistical, but
That's not gonna happen.
no, it already happened. That's the point.
It might.
It might have already happened. Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, then that means that we're super, super lonely, and no one else has gone through this, and we are the first. We are the pioneers into this age of exploration and unknown,
All right.
which would be pretty interesting. But like I said, super lonely.
All right. Here's, and I might end the episode here. In which case, stay positive. But if I didn't end the episode, what would happen if we did find another intelligent life? Now what? Now we're not alone.
Yeah.
What would you do then? No more filters.
Well, what happens if that raises the question? Then maybe we haven't made it to that filter yet.
But like, I thought this whole filter conversation was the notion that we never had a friend, in the form of
That's
intellectual
assuming
life.
that yeah, that's assuming that we've made it all us and this other species have made it to a point. The way I see it is there are only two possibilities.
There is or there isn't.
Or there is also the possibility that several species can make it through the great filter and inevitably become friends, maybe. Or one species is higher intelligence or superior and then just destroys the other for colonial
Purposes.
colonization. Colonization, yeah.
Pete,
I'm English.
you are.
So that's a possibility too, but I don't know. I don't know about that one.
All right.
That one seems a lot less likely than the other two
That we're alone.
to me. Yeah, I feel like the more likely to be on unfortunately, the more likely scenario to me is that it's still ahead of us and we are one of many species out there. Because just think about it on a number scale, probability scale. There's so many habitable planets in our Milky Way alone.
Really?
I don't know where they are.
Wait, is the sun the Milky Way sun?
What did you just say?
Like, the Milky Way galaxy, is the sun a part of that? Or, in the sense, is it the center of it? Or
No.
Oh, okay, so
The center of our galaxy is a supermassive black hole.
does that explode or does it live forever?
No, black holes are perpetual. They just suck in.
So where's
Everything,
where's the
including
next where's the thing outside of our solar system? Where's the next solar system?
I don't know.
I don't want to be on this planet when the sun explodes.
Sun's gonna explode in like 4 billion, 5 billion years, man. You'll be fine.
So when
You'll be
I'm-
long
when
gone
I'm
by
when
then.
I'm 5 billion and 1, then I want to be somewhere else.
Well, maybe we'll upload your consciousness into a computer.
No, I
that...
don't want that, because if there's a solar flare or some idiot if some idiot trips over the electrical outlet, or worse, my brain freezes because it's made from the same guys who made my computer, then I'd be in a
Well, you know what? I'll
I-
do you the huge favor and wrap you in lead.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That still doesn't stop the chance of my brain literally freezing, and the idea of someone turning me on and back off, turning me off and back on again, praying to God that my consciousness has a recovery functionality. I don't.
Kind of like this podcast.
Exactly
this
like
episode.
this podcast. Exactly like this podcast. I don't want that to happen. Please.
Well, man, all you can do is really.
I mean, yeah, if that does happen, there's really only one thing to do, and that is to
stay positive.